We're just going to check to see if council member or Commissioner Ba is online, and then we'll get started. Commissioners, we're just getting Commissioner Ba online. Commissioner Baugh, can you hear us?
You can, thank you.
Great. Okay. Chair Clausen, I'll hand it on over to you.
Thank you, Amanda. Good evening. It is now 6:07 p.m. I'm calling the study session to order. Tonight, Redevelopment Commission will hear a study session on the Clemens Garage redevelopment, case DR 23-101. This item will be led by our vice chair, as I need to recuse myself for matters related to Clemens Garage redevelopment. Vice Chair Kendall, I will hand the meeting over to you.
Thank you, Chair TJ Clausen. If staff would please come forward for the presentation.
Vice Chair Kendall, we also have one other commissioner.
I'm Commissioner Bo Bigelow, and I must recuse myself as well.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I feel like I scared everybody out of the room here. All right, good evening, Commission. The case I have for discussion tonight is for the Clemens Garage redevelopment. The site is located southeast of Gilbert and Cullenber. The applicant is proposing to redevelop the existing Clemens Garage building that's currently located on the site. The input I'm seeking tonight is regarding landscape deviations, elevations, and any other general feedback that you may have on the project. The site is approximately 0.37 acres and is zoned Heritage Village Center. The proposed development is 10,090 square feet with 5,500 square feet of patio space. There is a 3-foot tall patio wall that buffers the patio from the sidewalk along Gilbert Road. Along this wall will also be 2 cabanas that face inward toward the patio that will be utilized by the restaurant tenant. The restaurant is accessed by entering the patio area off of Gilbert Road, and the retail space also has an access off of Gilbert Road from their own patio. There are additional entrances to the businesses from the rear of the property. Within the Heritage District, there's a requirement that a minimum of 50% of the ground floor of a building or permanent outdoor dining area shall be within 10 feet of the property line. And although the primary building does not meet this criteria, we feel like the outdoor patio area and cabanas do meet the intent of this requirement. Right, landscaping for the site is separated into 2 different categories, internal and external to the site. Red push pistache trees are proposed along the street frontage with Murphy agave, Mexican feathergrass, and deer grass within the retail tenant patio. Internal landscaping for the restaurant tenant is proposed to include a variety of palms, Swan Hill fruitless olive trees, umbrella plants, giant bird of paradise, and blue hibiscus plants. The Heritage District Design Guidelines include a list of permitted landscaping within the district, but the applicant is proposing a number of deviations. For the external landscaping, which is located along Gilbert Road and the retail patio, you can kind of see in the bottom left-hand corner, I have the exterior landscape separated out from the interior landscape section. The applicant is proposing to add a singular ghost gum tree at the restaurant patio entrance and then a row of Sierra apricot shrubs along the north side of the retail patio. The bulk of the deviation requests come from the plant life internal to the site on the patio space for the restaurant tenant, and are seen here on the right half of the screen. The requested plant deviations are Swan Hill fruitless olive, date palm, foxtail fern, ponytail palm, sago palm, umbrella plant, casa blue flax lily, creeping fig vine, giant bird of paradise, turtle's natal plum, blue hibiscus, dwarf pittosporum, and Arizona rosewood. Forgive me if I butchered the name of that. All right, so the applicant is proposing a 26-foot, 8-inch, 1-story mixed-use 2-tenant building. The restaurant tenant will be approximately 5,500 square feet with a 5,000 square foot patio, and the retail tenant will be about 3,400 square feet with a 500 square foot patio. Both of the patios are located off of Gilbert Road. Portions of the existing Clemens garage building will remain and be incorporated into the design of the new building. Seen here are the existing elevations for the front and rear of the property compared to what currently exists on site. You can see portions of the existing building, such as window elements, are still found within the remodeled building. The primary colors and materials being used are masonry brick and stucco in various shades of brown and cream. The applicant is proposing wood shutters and Spanish tiles as accent materials to the building. Seen here at the rear of the building, they are used to accent the recessed portions on that east elevation. And the tiles are also located at the base of the two cabanas that front Gilbert Road. The south elevation of the project incorporates windows from the existing building into the new project and adds a 6-foot site wall to enclose the patio space at the front of the site. The north elevation is made up primarily of brick, but includes 4 recessed stucco areas, and staff feels like those could be great locations for murals. The applicant has also ensured a 360-degree architecture and has included a combination of permitted materials from the design guidelines, including brick and stucco with tile and wood accents. And then here is a slide of all the colors and materials being proposed. And then here's the floor plan showing the 2 tenants. You have the restaurant tenant on the southern portion with their patio facing Gilbert Road, and then a retail tenant on the northern portion with the small patio also off of Gilbert Road. And then, as briefly mentioned at the start, I'm just hoping for some feedback tonight on landscape deviations, elevations, and any other general feedback that you have. And I'm available for any questions that you have.
Chairman, I have some questions if you don't mind.
Go ahead, Commissioner Baugh.
First of all, I love this property. I love everything about this use. This is the exact type of thing that should happen on this property. It's awesome. I could use some clarification. If you go back to the slide with let's start the east elevation first. And you had mentioned, you said they're incorporating the windows. Does that mean that, I think that's not the east, but the slide after this? Yes, that one, the south, yeah, it was the south elevation. So you see the series of windows there on the south elevation. When you say they're incorporating, are you saying that I guess what I was unclear on is, the structure here, is it utilizing the walls of the structure, or is it a new structure, but they're putting the window placements in the same manner so it has a carryover of that form?
Sure. So Vice Chair Kendall, Commissioner Baugh, from what I understand, they are using some of the existing front facades of the building, including this window structure, and then they are incorporating that into the design of the building. So they're adding on to it. But they, from what I understand,
Okay.
Artie, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're utilizing those existing front facades still.
Beautiful. And then could we look at the west of it? And that's essentially the street appearance.
You kind of broke up there for a second.
Would you show the west elevation? Okay. I can see that they've utilized, which is the former space of the garage bay areas, now being glass and glazing. I'm assuming that building that's on the left side of that page, which is closest to the western street edge, is that also part of the existing structure and building to be, adaptively reused?
I wish I had a pointer that you could see. The furthest left near where the
Sign is?
So the retail tenant, so the closest, the 2 windows with the door.
Yes.
Those
Yes.
are the existing
Yes.
facade. The door is new, the window is existing.
Okay.
And I'm not sure about the bays, so if you'd need clarification on that, I might have to have
No.
our applicant come up and explain.
No, that's fine. And this is why I asked the question. We don't have a lot of opportunities in this town to do adaptive reuse. We're just too new of a town. And some of the most creative developments I've seen are the ones that find a way to retrofit and do an adaptive reuse of an old building. And I understand that not all buildings, whatever time of year they were built, can comply with the 2023 standard, but the ability to work as best as possible to incorporate some of those old features is awesome. And that's why I think I like this project. It still feels like much of the same building with a modern renovation to it. So I appreciate it. I don't have any problem with the deviations on the landscaping. I did think I did notice a lot of palms in that palette, which isn't my preference, but I guess I don't really care to get in the way of somebody if they think it's really necessary for the project. But overall, I really appreciate the way they've incorporated the existing building in the design of the project.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Ball. Commissioner Updike, comments, questions?
Yeah, I would agree. I love adaptive reuse. That's always near to my heart as an architect, honoring kind of the work that's been done and that heritage and making it fit with the new occupancy. I do have a lot of questions on the landscaping, only because I'm not super familiar with all of the species that were listed, but how do those kind of align with some of the newer water-wise initiatives for Gilbert?
So Vice Chair Kendall, Commissioner Updike, I don't have an answer for that. But I can definitely reach out to our Water Resources Department and I can get you a better answer for it.
Okay. Then I guess with that might be my only landscaping thought, only,
sorry.
To better, maybe have a better understanding of the ask for all of the landscaping variances. But I don't have any concerns with the elevations, and thank you for presenting.
Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Updike. Is there any other commissioners?
Vice Chair Kendall, no, you are our last to provide your input. Thank you.
Perfect, thank you. I like this. Actually, this is one project that people in the Heritage District have approached me on and said, please try to keep it as is as much as possible. And I think that you've done a really, really good job with that. I too have some hesitation with the landscaping, particularly the sago palm, which can be quite sharp and have needle-like palms. And then I don't know what the other one is, but it looks like an aloe vera of some sort. It's probably pokey as well. So I think it looks like a lot of vegetation put in a small area. Mm-hmm. So I'm sure it's all going to work out. But overall, I like the design, and I'm excited to see what tenants come in and what the offering will be. Thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, Vice Chair.
Commissioner Bach, Commissioner Updike, do you have any further questions or comments?
No.
Perfect.
No.
Thank you again.
Thank you very much. It is now 6:19, and we will recess the study session and convene the regular meeting.
Thank you, Vice Chair Kendall. We will ask Chair Clausen and Commissioner Bigelow to return, and then I will take roll call.
All right. Thank you, Casey. Staff, would you please take roll call?
Chair Clausen,
Here?
Vice Chair Kendall,
Here.
Commissioner Baugh,
Here.
Commissioner Bigelow,
Here.
Commissioner Updike.
Here.
Mr. Chairman, we have a quorum.
Thank you, Amanda. At this time, members of the public may comment on matters not on the agenda. The commission's response is limited to the responding to criticism, asking staff to review a matter commented upon, or asking that a matter be put on a future agenda. Are there any communications from citizens at this time?
Mr. Chairman, there are no requests for communications from citizens. Thank you.
We will now move into administrative item number 2, considering approval of minutes for the regular meeting held on July 19th, 2023. Are there any edits the commission wishes to make?
No.
Do I have a motion to approve the minutes?
I motion
Motion
to
approved.
Motion approved, meeting minutes, July 19th, 2023.
Sounds like we have a motion, a first and a second. If the commissioners would please vote on approval of the minutes for July 19th, 2023.
Aye.
All right, the motion has passed. Moving on, are there any communications from our council liaison, Councilmember Torgerson?
You have to release it to me. I have to release it to you?
It's not turning on. Mine's, yeah, it's not working. Well, golly gee.
You want to come trade seats with me?
All right, I'm going to read this because, it's written for me. On September 19th, Gilbert Town Council approved a resolution authorizing the acquisition of 18 acres of land west of the UPRR, adjacent to the Heritage District known as the Long Range Planning Area in the 2018 Heritage District Redevelopment Plan. The acquisition of the 18 acres creates a comprehensive solution for stormwater management for the protection of public health, provides future development opportunities in the Heritage District through the relocation of a well site, and supports the direction and vision of the 2018 Heritage District Redevelopment Plan. On September 22nd, Gilbert kicked off Harvest in the Heritage District, a collection of themed events and experiences inviting locals and visitors to explain downtown Gilbert. There are 3 art installations, including Halloween Pumpkin Fun, included south of the American Legion.
Hey,
Sorry,
with
I
a
couldn't
straight
do that
face.
with a straight face. I don't get my dollar. Dia de los Muertos, located at the green space west of the Barrio Queen and east of Clevercoy, and Mid-Autumn Celebration with lanterns and ribbons of gratitude outside of the Gilbert Park and Ride. More information is located on discovergilbert.com/harvest. And Gilbert Fall Concert Series at the Water Tower Plaza takes place every Thursday during the month of October from 6:30 to 8:30 p.m. Information about the concerts may be found on gilbertaz.gov website. And this Friday at 6:30 at Page Park in downtown Gilbert, we'll be showing Hocus Pocus 2 as part of the Movies in the Park series. So bring your chairs, blankets, and snacks. And that is all that I have for you, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, Councilmember Torgerson. Commissioners, do you have any updates you'd like to share?
Gilbert Days Parade, November 18th, downtown
Perfect.
Gilbert.
All right. Amanda, is there a report from staff?
Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, I am going to review what happened in August with council tours and our workshop. Okay, so we always start with our redevelopment plan in mind, as that's our guiding document. You all know that very well. August was a critical point for us because we are now 5 years into our 10-year redevelopment plan. As we look at this redevelopment plan comprehensively, we looked at opportunities for staff to collaborate, identify any overlap with projects, and examine a list of decisions that we needed from either commissioners or from council. We also created what we're calling a project catalog. So we have a comprehensive capital improvement projects list. This catalog is not meant to replace that list. This is really meant as an internal document to help us coordinate, particularly as we have a number of capital improvement projects that happen in the Heritage District. So you can see it's divided out into a number of sections, including current, active projects, completed projects, and this is both public and private. So if I'm a capital improvement project manager or redevelopment project manager, I can pick up this booklet and I can find out general information about a project, the related projects that abut the project that I'm working on, or plans that I need to know, and the relation to the Heritage District. So again, this is really to help us comprehensively coordinate. Of course, we're happy to provide you all as commissioners with a copy of this document as well, if that's helpful as you're thinking through those public and private projects that you're reviewing. So as we moved into our tours and workshop, we had 2 facilitators for the tours and workshops. The downtown tours took place on Monday, August 21st. There was a large list of attendees, including mayor and council and staff. And we visited 3 cities. And the intent of the visits was not to suggest that we wanted to be identical to these cities, but to really learn from them. So when we went to Phoenix, we asked 3 questions. 1, what kind of regulatory requirements does Phoenix have in place to reduce constraints and increase development opportunity? How do you garner community support as your area develops? And what does it ultimately take to be clean, green, and safe? We then went from Phoenix to Scottsdale. We asked, how do you use long-range planning to manage a divergent and evolving downtown? What safety best practices are necessary for an active downtown and entertainment district? And how do you gain merchant support for tourism? And then we finished our day in Mesa, and we asked, how can partnerships help or constrain opportunity? How can you leverage residential to drive retail? And what are the downtown pitfalls policymakers should be aware of? Again, this was a really great opportunity to learn from our counterparts and see some best practices. And then we ended our evening with a facilitated dinner dialogue. Joe Johnson joined us from Joe's Real Barbecue and Liberty Market, David Beckham, who owns the Gilbert Shops, and our Redevelopment Commission Chair, TJ Clausen, also joined. We then parlayed that into a workshop. Again, the intent of this was really to take a look at where we are 5 years into our redevelopment plan and start really planning for those next steps and key pieces that need to fall in place in order to enact our 10-year plan. And so our outcomes, we were really looking to understand, downtown management and how council wants to see us leading that downtown management as we go forward, to revisit some requirements and standards, to talk about a key piece, your first and last impression of the district, which is parking, and then to talk about the return on investment and plan for the 2028 redevelopment plan, which starts in 5 years, which is pretty amazing. We had 2 kind of overarching themes. 1, how do we build a sustainable downtown in the future? So not necessarily just from an environmental standpoint, but sustainable from a return on investment standpoint and financial standpoint. And then as we do that, how are we making sure that we sustain the integrity of place that we've built and what makes Gilbert authentically Gilbert? We went through a number of presentations. We got a redevelopment update from Sydney Bethel Price about the catalog, the project coordinations that's happening, district management, and then the 5-year update. We had development services run through the development process and use of design guidelines. You all received this presentation from Ashley last year, so we thought it would be a great opportunity for council to see that same presentation. We did a Lego exercise with council where we used our current development standards and we took them through exercises on 3 different sites to have them build in all of the requirements we have on a site and see how they were able to arrange that site. We hope to do that same type of Lego exercise with you all in a future meeting. We thought that that was just a great opportunity to really understand some of the constraints we have with development, particularly on some of those smaller infill sites. We also had a group called Urban 3 join us, and they talked about the fiscal implications of patterns of development, and they use data visualization to do this. And we are looking to have them return to come and speak with both you and with the Planning Commission, so you'll hear that presentation in future. And for that first half of the day, we were really asking council to help us explore opportunities for, the development standards in the village center zoning, getting kind of a nod to begin some of that public outreach for the 2028 plan. We did 5 years of public outreach leading up to the 2018 plan, just to start having those touch points with the community, and then explore opportunities for district operations. The second half of the day was really focused on parking. It's a critical aspect that we have been hyper-focused on for years. So we had council do a parking SWOT, and then Andrew Vidor with Walker Consultants shared the parking master plan. And if you do not have a copy of that, I will ensure that you all receive one. But that goes through a number of parking management tools, talks about our shared parking models, and then opportunity for financing and paying for parking in the future. And so we asked council, can we begin implementing some of these initial tactics to help manage parking in our district, which is so absolutely critical, again, your first and last impression, to explore what financial tools are available. So when we say, how do we pay for parking, we're not talking about the visitor, but all of the opportunities to be able to finance parking, and then, some direction on the third parking structure. And so with that, I just wanted to give you guys an idea of what all took place in August. We'll be coming back to you with some of the council direction and certainly having further dialogue with you all. And we're going to end my presentation the way that we ended our day. So we have a little sizzle reel about the district for you to see.
Just fun. It's just really fun down here. There's always stuff going on.
It's nice to be down here and look around and see so many people from different places.
Probably classic. It's a revitalization effort that, like I said, just brings the community together.
Home.
I would say inventive. All the new stuff comes here.
I'd say nostalgic. My family would come here after church most Sundays out of the year.
Timeless. That's a good word. Timeless is a good word.
Busy. Happening. It's 108 degrees out here, yet there's a million people out.
I grew up in Gilbert, and this was just my childhood.
We moved here in '98.
Yep.
It's kind of cool to see how much change has happened just in the Gilbert area over the past 20 years.
It's great. I love it.
So with that, Mr. Chairman, members of the commission, that is my presentation for this evening. I want to thank you all for your work in the first 5 years of this redevelopment plan, and certainly are excited to see Clemens be added to this, the next sizzle reel that we have, and certainly looking forward to the next 5 years with you all. So thank you.
Thank you, Amanda. Is that video something that we can get a copy of, and are we able to share that?
Chairman Clausen, yes, it is located online, and I will send you all a copy of it, but it is up on our Gilbert YouTube channel.
Awesome. Thank you. Yeah, great job to staff. Thanks. With that, we will adjourn the meeting. It is 6:37. Everybody have a good evening.